Hello, good morning. Welcome to Better Life. I'm Dr. Ayo Akinshete, and today we are going to talk about the place of righteousness in prayer. The place of righteousness in prayer. We are still talking from James chapter 5 and verse 16. The effectual, fervent, continued prayer of a righteous man makes tremendous power available. It is the prayer of a righteous man that makes tremendous power available. The prayer of a righteous man. Now, any other person can pray and get result in prayer. I've seen very bad people. I've seen very wicked people who got great things in prayer. But you see, I discover a lot of times that people do things that stirs up their righteousness. People, they journey into righteousness because at times they fast. They separate themselves. Some go to the mountain for a whole week. Some separate themselves for 3 days. Some separate themselves for 4 days. In the course of that, they have built righteousness. They have journeyed into righteousness. And then the prayers that they put before the Lord at those times, they seem to get very good attention. But unfortunately, they don't continue to live like that. And that's the mistake many people make. What you did that commanded the power of God in your life, if you can do it every day, your normal talks will command power. Your decrease will command power. When you say things without planning, heaven will attend to them, because you have not just journeyed into righteousness, you are now living in righteousness. I wish people can do every day the things they do when they were fasting. That is called the fasted life. The fasted life. Even when you are not fasting, the things you used to do when you fast, you can actually do them every day. The way you try to abstain from sin, the way you don't want to say anything that will offend God, the way you are so careful about everything, you can actually do that every day. And if you do that every day, power will rest on your head. I tell you, power will rest on your head. Whether you like it or not, there is a very cardinal role that living right plays in prayer, particularly prayer that must deliver mighty testimonies. There is a cardinal role clean hands play. Let's read from Psalm 24. Psalm 24 from verse 3 to 6. Psalm 24 from verse 3 to 6. He said, who shall ascend into the hill of the Lord? Or who shall stand in his holy place? He that hath clean hands and a pure heart, who has not lifted up his soul unto vanity, nor sworn deceitfully, he shall receive the blessing from the Lord and righteousness from the God of his salvation. This is the generation of them that seek him, that seek thy face, O Jacob. Who shall ascend into the hill of the Lord? That's a place of prayer. That's a place of prayer. Or who shall stand in his holy place? He that hath clean hands. Clean hands. Now, if you read all of the prescriptions that God is putting up here, you will see that they are prescriptions for your thought and for your actions. The things you do from day to day. Let's read them one by one. He that has clean hands and a pure heart. Now, clean hands come from your day-to-day dealings. Your everyday dealings. When you refuse to cheat on people, when you refuse to cut corners, that's a clean hand. That's a clean hand. God told David when he wanted to build a temple for the Lord, God told him, you can't build me a temple. Your hands are, you have blood in your hands. Now, that's not blood from warfare. No. When you kill people at the war front, it's not murder. It's righteousness. The one God was talking about here are the blood of the few innocent people that he wasted. He killed Uriah and took his wife. That was what God was referring to here. Outside that, David didn't kill any other person. But that one became blood in his hands. And for that, he was disqualified from building a temple for the Lord. Let me ask you today, what is it that is placing debt on your life? Where do you have dirty hands? What is dirty in your hand? What is making your hand impure? That same thing will affect your prayer. That same thing will tamper with mighty testimonies in your prayer. That same thing will limit the power of your prayers. Who shall ascend into the hill of the Lord? Who shall stand in his holy place? He that has clean hands and a pure heart. You need to monitor your thoughts. You know, a lot of times you are not doing evil, but you are thinking evil. And your thought, as far as God is concerned, is your action. Your thought is your action. Your thought is your action. If you think it, you have done it. Jesus said, if you look at a woman and lust after her beauty, he said, you have committed fornication already with her. You don't know her name. She does not know your name. You don't know her address, but you have committed fornication. Because if you think it, you have done it. Quantum physics agrees with the scriptures. They say if you think it, it exists. So if you think sin, sin already exists in your life. You think fornication, you have just fornicated. You know, everything we do begins from our thoughts. Basically, if you want to be righteous, think righteous thoughts. If you are thinking evil, you are thinking sin, you will commit it eventually. But even before you commit it physically, as far as God is concerned, if you can give it room in your thought, you have done it. And all these things will affect your prayer. The answer to your prayer. It will affect the power that your prayer can deliver. The power that your prayer can deliver. Some people pray and then wonders follow the prayer, whether instantly or later, according to the will of God. But you see, what is important is ensure your hands are clean. God won't do that for you. You can do it. God can help you, but you have to want to do it. It must be your desire before God can help you. You have to sanitize your heart. When an evil thought crosses your mind, delete it instantly. Why are you doing that? So that your prayer can generate power. So that mighty testimonies can come by your prayers. Look, you have a responsibility here. For example, I know warfare can come from anywhere. I don't know when the devil can come against me. I don't want to speak and my words are not powerful. I don't want to make a decree and they fall to the ground. So I'm careful with my life. I don't play like every other person. Not because I'm a pastor, but because I am preparing for something. And that preparation is every day. I don't put my hands in every nonsense. I don't talk rubbish. I don't allow nonsense to settle in my heart. Because I want power to be resident on my head. I want power to be resident on my life. So that when I pray, when I make a decree, when I say something, the power of God can be upon it. The power of God can be upon it. He said, he that has clean hands and a pure heart, who has not lifted up his soul unto vanity. You see that? It is his soul, not his hands. His soul unto vanity. Who has not lifted up his soul unto vanity, nor sworn deceitfully. Where do people swear? It's in the marketplace. In the marketplace, where they are buying and selling, where they are trying to multiply their money. That's where they swear. On Longbo, I bought this to 700,000. You don't have to tell your customer how much you bought your goods. If he can't buy your price, let him go somewhere else. In fact, Jesus said, he said, don't swear, not by your head, not by God, not by man, not by heaven, not by earth. He said, let your yes be yes and let your no be no. If you are given to swearing, I can assure you, it will affect your prayer life. It will affect your prayer life, because somewhere along the line, your prayer will not be able to deliver as much power as it should deliver. It will not be God, it will not be Satan, it will be you that caused it. Run from swearing. Why would you do that? Because that's how to stay righteous. Look, living right is not as difficult as people think. The same way you plan your business, the same way you plan your trips, the same way you plan your job, you plan your spending, you can also plan your righteousness. The reason people cannot be righteous is because they are not planning righteousness. You can be righteous, it's not difficult. You don't need to see a coal of fire. An angel does not need to enter inside you. You can live right. Any Tom, Dick, and Harry can do it. Pray that God will help you, but you have to plan to do it. Plan to do it. A young man told me, for example, he said, I have told myself, any woman who wants to be close to me must like my wife. I must be my wife's friend. Whether because we are going to be in business together, or we are in the same unit in church, or because we have something to do together. If you don't like my wife, if you can't be a friend to my wife, you can't be my friend. If you are a woman. That is planning for righteousness. When there is no plan, a personal plan made by you for righteousness, you will never be righteous. And ultimately, your prayers may move stones, not mountains. Your prayer may deliver some testimonies, but not mighty testimonies. If you want mighty testimonies, my brother, if you want mighty testimony, my sister, when you want to leave home every day, make up your mind. This will not happen to me, particularly your own besetting sins. The things you do every day that you know offends God, plan against them. God won't do that for you. He won't. You are the one to do it. And when you do it, it will now give you grace to continue. When you plan to do it, it will now empower you to do it. But don't wait that God will do it through you. You are the one that must want to do it. And then the power of God resident in you will now help you to do it. Listen carefully. It is the prayer of a righteous man that delivers power. Great power. It is the prayer of a righteous man that makes tremendous power available. It is the prayer of a righteous man that delivers mighty testimonies. So, if you want to get on your knees and pray and see God work in a powerful way, if you want to get on your knees and pray and see the power of God go to work, my sister, my brother, you need to plan to be righteous. Holiness is not as difficult as you think. It's not. Now, I am talking about holiness that you practice now. And I want to focus on that for today. Because there is inherited righteousness. There is righteousness given to you. In fact, if you don't have that one, practicing living right, as far as God is concerned, is going to be limited. But let's leave inherited righteousness for today. Let's just focus on this and deal with it. Now, all the things we have read here, God will help you, but you have to plan to do them. He must have clean hands, a pure heart. He has not lifted up his soul to vanity. You sit down in your room and you are planning and scheming what you must do, how you are going to penetrate the truth, how you are going to turn lies to truth, in a bid to ensure that certain opportunities from your office come to you. You are lifting up your soul to vanity. That's what the scripture said. You are lifting up your soul to vanity. If you can't get it today, you will get it tomorrow. If you are not a candidate for that thing from your office this year, you may be the candidate next year. Don't cut corners for it. Why? So that your hands can be clean, so that your soul can be pure. He shall receive the blessing. Look, see what the scripture is. He that hath clean hands. Okay, let me read from the beginning. Who shall ascend into the hill of the Lord? Who shall stand in his holy place? He that has clean hands and a pure heart, who has not lifted up his soul unto vanity, nor sworn deceitfully, he shall receive the blessing from the Lord. That's the mighty testimony there. And the righteousness from the God of his salvation. This is the generation of them that seek him, that seek your face, O Jacob. Let me say one more time. This is your responsibility. If you want your prayer to get to deliver power all the time, to bring mighty testimonies, decide on righteousness. Decide on righteousness. I'm going to stop here for today. Tomorrow we'll pick it up from there. I love you. Do you need to call us or send an SMS? We are here for you. 070 56 66 76 86. One more time. 070 56 66 76 86. I love you. See you tomorrow.